Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Tuesday, June 24th. I'm your host, Bree Cox Kennedy. Thanks so much for being here with me today. I appreciate your viewership. On today's show, we have the El Toro Water District who's going to be here. Mike Gaskin's going to be talking to us about budget and financial obligations. And then later in the show, we have Home Helpers with Dwight Brown and Rachel Swingler. She's with the Laguna Cafe. We'll find out what those two are up to just a little bit later in the show. But for now, folks, we want to keep you informed. Did you know you can skip the line and use the resident portal? Save time, avoid lines, and take care of the following online. This is a lot of things that you can do from the privacy and comfort of your home. You can register your guests, request overnight parking permits, submit service requests, view account balances, print account statements, update emergency contacts, review resident and vehicle information. That's amazing. All you have to do is visit the portal.lagunawoodsvillage.com to do all of that. All right, folks, let's take a look at this weather. This weather drives me crazy. I want my sunshine. Supposedly it's coming, I'm not sure, but today is definitely starting off a bit gray with a cooler morning at 62 degrees. Sunshine is set to break around 1 p.m., so I just need to be a little more patient. It's warming up to be a pleasant 75 degrees, light breezes up to about 3 miles an hour, and a cozy 57 degrees this evening. The rest of the week looks pretty lovely with partly sunny skies and highs in the mid to upper 70s. Hopefully approaching 80s, perfect for a walk or a round of golf or hopefully dinner on the patio. Sunrise this morning was at 5:41 a.m. Sunset will be at 8:04. Is today the longest day of the year? Maybe it was a couple of days ago, but loving those long hours. Also loving this gorgeous photo that Michael took on his tour through France. Thank you for sending that or putting that in, Michael. I'd love to see your photos also. Please email those to me at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Please send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and in a horizontal format, please, so I can show it to our viewers. We've got just a couple of meetings to tell you about, and then after the break, El Toro Water District. Stay with us.
Hearing connects you back to life. Don't settle for being trapped in the isolation of poor hearing. Advanced Ear can help you hear friends, family, and caregivers. We provide one-on-one hearing programs that will amaze you with the quality of how much better you can hear. There's no cost to hear the improvement we deliver. You'll be able to hear better the minute you put these on. No buttons to push or technology to be afraid of. We deliver better hearing, guaranteed. Come in so we can connect you back to life. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
You've got mail.
Computing isn't what it used to be. And the future? It's evolving faster than ever. At the Laguna Woods PC Club, we're committed to keeping you ahead of the curve. Our state-of-the-art workshop boasts over 30 computers, scanners, and printers. Our dynamic seminars, led by experienced volunteers, cover the latest trends in computing. Embrace the future of computing with us. The Laguna Woods PC Club.
Simple is beautiful. At Pacific Cremation Services, we've spent 10 treasured years helping families craft simple, memorable services for their loved ones, including memorials at sea. Starting at just $1,595, our thoughtful cremation plans provide everything you need to commemorate your loved one. It's been our honor to serve families in Orange County and beyond for the last decade. Thank you for your trust. Visit our website or give us a call to discover simplicity.
folks. Welcome back to the show. I've got Mike Gaskins with me with El Toro Water District. We're going to be talking all about budgets and finances and all kinds of fun stuff. Mike?
And water.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And water.
I'd like to be here.
Yes.
So
Nice to have you back. You've got the 25 annual budget, operating
right,
budget
something
report.
we have to do every year.
Not
And
pleasant, but necessary.
We are a public agency. We're required by law to be transparent.
Okay.
And there's something called a 218 notice that we spend a lot of effort getting done. And it explains the increases that we have to do. I mean, they just have to do. And why they're taking place. Some boards in the past have artificially limited the increases to something less than is required, and they get into a real deficit situation. And so the catch-up can be really difficult.
painful.
Yeah, and so I think we're on really good pace, and as much as I'd like to say there won't be an increase, there will. So
Yeah, you see that annually, don't you?
we do it annually, and the slide that's being on the screen right now shows where the money goes, where we have to spend it. And the district's about 60 years old, and actually 69 years old, I think. But anyway, one of the things we have to face is aging infrastructure. There are pipes in the ground. There are things at the water reclamation plant that have been there for 60 years. And now we're having to rebuild, repair, and again, use the best available technology as we do that. And so our budget, you see with infrastructure, kind of top center there, and we have a couple of really big projects. There's day-to-day work, and one of the things that when you think water district, you just think drinking water, but we do wastewater as well. So when you flush the toilet, we take care of all that, and we treat it, and we reclaim some of the water out of it, because raw sewage is about 99% water. And if that just went to the ocean, it's complete waste, you know. And so we reclaim that, and a lot of it's used for irrigation here in the village.
Really?
The golf course, most of Third, et cetera. You'll see the purple pipe. It's a specific color that has to be for the pipe, but it is reclaimed water. So we are multifaceted in supplying not just the village, but other parts of El Toro and Laguna Hills and Laguna Woods.
How many residents do you service? Do you know?
We're a
off the top
little
of your
more
head?
than 10,000, and we have 60 employees
Wow.
that do all the work, and they're out there working every single day and sometimes nights, making sure everything's safe.
Yeah, this is a lot. So with those older pipes, Mike, do they go in and do they treat the inside so that they don't corrode from the outside?
It depends on the situation. Most of the corrosion, the stuff going through it is probably more corrosive than anything outside.
But a lot of times there's like tree roots.
Tree roots,
or
we
things
have,
that penetrate
I
the
don't know,
pipes.
somewhere here we have a crew that specifically runs a little robotic camera down through the pipes and looks. And if there are tree roots intruding, and they are sometimes, we have a machine that goes in and trims them.
Is that the labor at 11 million?
Part of the labor, 11 million, right, and the maintenance.
Yeah.
We have a very large reservoir on the edge of Mission Viejo that we recently had to cover and line, and it was an overall $20 million project that we shared with one of our neighbors, Santa Margarita Water District. The pie diagram behind you shows what percentage of our income goes to what, and you can see that water is actually less than sewer.
It is.
You know,
Wow.
the operations and maintenance. We buy water we don't have any wells. We don't have a geology under us that allows us to pump water, so we have to import it. And it all comes from the Metropolitan Water District. And so the purchased water is a cost we can't change. Whatever they decide is what we have. And so we pass that increase, whatever it will be, on through. The other stuff we try to mitigate as much as we can. And the capital infrastructure is where we're talking about replacing pipes, building new structures, et cetera. And because we have had to borrow money in several cases,
Really?
we have a debt service, and that's pay the interest.
Interesting.
So all of that combines to make the budget. We are a public agency. We don't have a profit. There's no profit involved, and I've never understood how a private water company can be, because they have to make a profit. And we're cut about as lean as we can get, as few employees as we can. We do contract out work to get things done, to get specific things. We try to be as energy efficient. We continually talk with Edison about saving things. The little boxy building there that says Tesla on it is batteries. And during times when the demand is at a peak, their battery system comes in and adds power so that we don't impact Edison as strong, and it saves us money. And
Right, go into just a little bit of a detail. Where does that power go? Who's using that power?
Our treatment plant specifically. It's over by, it abuts the golf course and the RV storage lot. The plant is right there. There's not a name on the street, but basically it's near the corner of Ridge Route and Moulton. And it's right there. And every once in a while there's a little waft of odor that sweeps up, but for the most part we do really well. And in that plant, you see the picture of the clarifier there. That's one of the essential parts for operation of the plant. The first one that was put in over 60 years ago. Wow. And it is failing. We have 3 in there. So part of our current project that we just approved yesterday at the Engineering and Finance Committee meeting was to rebuild that. And
so that clarifier then, Mike, is that where the sewage is treated?
Sewage
so
comes in, is kind of strained to get the big lumps out, people that flush the wipes, and things like that. We strain that out. It goes into an aeration basin, which gives a lot of oxygen to the bacteria. The treatment plant itself is alive. It's pretty much a living organism, and most of it's biological. And so it could go hours on that. But the treatment plant, the clarifier is where any solids we couldn't digest settle out. And that's what that does.
Interesting.
So anyway, rate adjustments, because we're here to talk about budget.
Yes.
We have a tiered rate system depending on your usage. If you're a minimal usage, you pay 33 cents per 100 cubic feet. The recycled water is based on the Tier 2 rate, but it's less even than the Tier 1. So if you're irrigating with that, it's cheaper than using potable water. Water operations and maintenance. Some water districts charge the customers purely on the water that comes in, which seems nice and fair, except that there's a lot of infrastructure that had to be built and maintained in order to deliver that water to you. And if they can't pass that cost on to the customer, our budget is based on both infrastructure and the cost of the water.
So overall, the average cost increase per dwelling is between $5 and $8 a month.
This is here in the woods, in Laguna Woods, or in the Laguna Woods Village. If you look at the pie chart on the left, it shows what percentage from each section, and then of that, like Third, United, the towers, GRF in general, which GRF would be the golf course, would be using a lot of water. And then the parts of that are the other one. But the average cost is going to be $5 to $8 per month per unit. Okay. And so if you were living outside Laguna Woods, the average water bill is probably in the $120 a month range.
Wow.
And so their increase will be higher than that.
Mike, thank you so much for all that information. I appreciate the update. All right, everyone. When we come back, Home Helpers will be with us.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with complimentary maintenance included.
We all have the power to shape the world. We're connected to the world we share, to each other. I am Future. I wait in the world of Echo.
Echo, the spectacular new show by Cirque du Soleil, opens May 23rd under the Big Top at Laguna Hills Mall. Tickets at cirquedusoleil.com.
The world is yours to create.
Echo thanks its official partner, Air Canada.
Hi, I'm Vince Ferragamo. I spent some of my best years as an NFL quarterback, but today I've got a new team, and we're helping seniors who spent their best years fighting for our country, defending our freedom, and informing the nation. Our hometown heroes need help. AgeWell Senior Services is their lifeline. Nonprofit AgeWell can do all of this because you care enough to give. Please join me in supporting AgeWell. Donate today.
Do you or your loved ones want to continue living at home safely, but are starting to see signs of Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's? Maybe it's recent strokes or falls. Having a caregiver at home can be the best way to keep you in home safely. Home Helpers has been providing caregivers for over 25 years. Call us today or join us at Laguna Cafe for free pie and coffee, and we'll answer your questions about caregiving. It's the first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m., and space goes quickly, so RSVP now.
Welcome back to the show. We've got home helpers here with us today, Dwight Brown. And Dwight, you brought a guest, Rachel from the Laguna Cafe. What are we going to talk about? You've got monthly meetings over at Laguna Cafe.
We do, which is why I brought
you brought
Rachel.
your lovely little guest.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bree. Thanks for having us.
Well, tell us a little bit about you have a monthly Q&A?
That's right, yeah.
At Laguna Cafe.
Every month, the first Tuesday of the month at 10 a.m. So that's coming up just around the corner. The July 1st, 10 a.m. we'll be having a meeting. And I do it every month, and it's just a Q&A session about caregiving and senior care in general, depending on people's questions.
So it's open, completely open.
Yeah, I have an agenda. I get a lot of questions. A lot of people call me when they see that a family member is needing care. And I get a lot of questions about, what does it cost? How do people pay for this? Does insurance cover it? Are caregivers background checked? There's a standard stable of questions I get all the time. And so at Laguna Cafe, I just present those questions and the answers that I give for those questions.
So what inspired you to start doing this?
Well, I love Laguna Cafe. I think everybody wishes they lived in Mayberry, right? And we all think of, would it be great if there was a local restaurant where everybody knew my name? I've been going to Laguna Cafe for a long time. And I thought of the idea when I was there. I thought, why don't I just invite people here, have coffee, treat them to breakfast, and I'll answer their questions, and I can help a local restaurant while I'm at it.
Sure.
I know the owners of Laguna Cafe. They're wonderful and they're fun people, and so yeah, it's a good match to kind of have people be in a casual environment talking about caregiving.
Fantastic. Rachel, how long have you worked there?
It's been about 1.5 years now. It's awesome.
That's great. How are you able to interact with the folks within the community that Dwight brings in?
Well, they come and they ask their questions to Dwight. I help them however they need in the cafe. Honestly, Dwight takes the role.
Well, we provide free breakfast or pie and coffee. They have wonderful pie, so nobody complains when they're getting great pie with their questions. So, yeah.
So do you lead the conversation, or do you just allow the questions to trickle in as the folks arrive? Or what's the infrastructure of your meeting?
It's really open. I have an agenda just in case. Usually it's very casual, so after I start answering questions, people usually chime in with either their questions or their experiences about caregiving that they've seen here in Laguna Cafe. It usually goes about an hour. If I were just to read the Q&A, it might take 30, 35 minutes, but we usually get about 20 minutes of questions. I think last time there was a wonderful couple that came in and they have long-term care insurance. And I started talking to them about questions they should ask their long-term care insurance company, when they start, how much the value is. And that lasted about 20 minutes of information that they wanted to know about their policy, essentially. So yeah, it's very open.
So what are the typical questions that you're getting?
Boy, there's, I think the most common question I get, what does it cost? I think that's the most common. How do people pay for it? Is it cash out of pocket? Do insurance companies pay? My agency's credentialed with the VA, so veterans can actually get caregiving that's paid for by the VA. Not a lot of people know that, and once I tell them, they ask a lot of questions about that and the process of it. They ask questions about what caregivers can do. A lot of people will ask, can they help me with my laundry? Can they do a meal? Can they take my dog out for a walk?
What's involved?
So, yeah, absolutely.
What are the options? What do I get?
I answer all of those questions, yeah.
Is it in one lump sum, or is it a la carte, or
exactly?
Kind of like the pie and ice cream.
One of the common questions is there a minimum? Can someone come out for just 2 or 3 hours, or do they have to be there all day?
Yeah, these are very valid questions.
Yeah, and I get these questions. I would think I get 3 or 4 phone calls a day at my office asking these questions, and then I decided, I could do that at the cafe and answer questions for multiple people at the same time, and enjoy pie while we're doing it.
You could also record it and repurpose it for YouTube.
That's right. Yeah. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I don't see myself as an influencer.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that's right. I could dance on TikTok while I do. No,
I wouldn't take it quite that far.
Yeah. I'd rather do it at Laguna Cafe.
We'll leave that for Rachel and her demographic.
That's
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so do you get folks coming into the cafe when Dwight's not there, and do they ask you questions? Because they probably see you interacting with the folks while he's there.
We do, and we tell them about the sessions as well. They ask about him, and we take their name down. I get their number sometimes if we need it as well. And so Dwight comes in once a month, right?
Yeah, I'm there pretty often anyway.
Yeah, if he's not already there having breakfast.
I also supply them with pens and flyers, just in case, so people have my number and can call.
So back to the whole Mayberry comment, because now you've got me intrigued, because I've never been.
You have to come.
I do.
It's
have
the best.
To come. I do. So why do you think that the cafe works so well for your discussions?
It's a casual place. I got a call last month. I think part of why I wanted to talk to you today about this, Bree, I got a call last month from somebody, and the first question is this going to be a high-pressure sales thing if I show up?
Like a timeshare.
That's exactly what I said. I said, I'm not selling timeshares. I think the environment at Laguna Cafe is very, very fun and very casual. The walls are covered with pictures of locals and veterans. It's a very family place. I think if I tried timeshare sales, they'd probably kick me out. So it's just, I like that casual vibe. I like that it's a neighborhood place. So I think I chose it for that reason, and I think that's why people feel comfortable there.
But in all seriousness, are you really able to connect and really honor the commitment of helping the community with things that they're not necessarily sure about? There's a lot of new people moving in all the time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's an overwhelming thing to think about. Do I really need somebody to come help me with different things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I think, and we were having this discussion earlier, that there is there's 2 things that I commonly see as a resistance to starting with care at home. One of those is pride, that I don't need somebody. I talked to my father this weekend. He was just diagnosed with melanoma, and he's a veteran, and I talked to him about potentially getting care through the VA. And his immediate reaction was, I don't need anybody's help, right? And my mom was next to him going, no, we need help.
Well, I think it's that perception that the independence will be taken away.
And that's the beauty of a caregiver, right? A caregiver is somebody in your home. They're
supplementing, and I often say, don't think of it as a caregiver, think of it as a personal assistant. Think of it as, if you want to, it's you have a butler. It's someone that comes into your house and can help with laundry, prepare a meal for you. They can help you with anything that makes you feel comfortable in your home. The second, I think pushback I get is, I don't want someone looking over my shoulder. I don't want to have to keep them busy. And the caregivers are very professional, and they know this. So they're not going to follow you around. And, the first couple of times you may have to help them with, oh, here's things that you could help me with. And after that, they come in and just like a housekeeper, they're going to help with certain things, and then they're going to go and
establish a routine.
The whole thing is to make your life easier, right? And a lot of people, once they get past that initial, kind of boundary of, oh my gosh, having a caregiver, people end up loving it, right? They get transportation, someone to take them to Starbucks, someone to cook them breakfast, and help out or make it easier on your loved ones, taking care of when someone's in need.
So generally, what type of feedback are you getting from your group participation Q&As?
I think the last session that talked a lot about long-term care was very, very informative. And I actually thought about coming up and meeting with the social workers here at the Laguna Woods, because there's so many questions about long-term care policies. Every policy is different, and people don't understand that possibly their policy may have a waiting period. Or they don't understand that their policy may have an unlimited value and they should use it as soon as possible. It's use it or lose it. So I think when it comes to insurance, it's such a big space. Every policy is different. I have really learned that can be very helpful. I give people a list of questions to call their insurance company and ask them. When they have that checklist of these are the things I want to ask, it really simplifies a very mysterious thing for them. So that's been eye-opening for me to see how many questions there are about insurance and its involvement in caregiving.
Wow, well, I'm sure the community really appreciates your efforts. So next Tuesday?
It's Tuesday at 10 a.m., July 1st.
10 a.m. Yeah. All right, you two. I'm sure folks are going to want over and get some pie and some information.
Yeah, I hope I can help them.
Thank you so much for being here, Dwight, Rachel.
Thank you, Bree.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
All right, folks, that is going to do it for this episode of This Day. And from all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one.